What if I told you that long before Parliament and constitutions, there was a place where kings and commoners alike gathered, a sacred plane to debate, decide, and define their destiny. Welcome to Ijero, where the ancient principle of Ajero still passes through every drumbeat, dance, and festival, and where a hidden legacy awaits rediscovery. Rising from the rolling Ekiti hills, the Ijero Kingdom claims its place among the 16 founding realms of the mighty Ekiti Confederacy. With each dawn, its people, one yet steadfast, fiercely independent, but deeply united, breathe life into a land defined by legacy and purpose. But what forged this spirit, and which ancient legacy set Ijero on this path? To uncover the root of this proud kingdom, we journey back to the very cradle of Yoruba civilization, Ile-Ife. Before kingdom rose and empires flourished, the sons of Oduduwa lived within the cradle of Yoruba civilization, Ile-Ife.
Ajero was the fourth son of Oduduwa. There are over 7 of them who are the sons of Oduduwa. Ajero was the fourth son, number 4 among the sons. And they were all living at Ile-Ife with the father. And the father had become highly established as the greatest authority in Yoruba land, as be around 1200 AD. Is the authority known everywhere in Yoruba land as the most important person. And Ajero was the fourth son.
Legacy of my forefathers is a great one. From the first Ajero, who is a direct son of Oduduwa. You know the legacy of Alara, Ajero, and Orangun Aga. The 3 of us are born of the same mother, and the name of our mother is Iwa.
It was a land of ancestral wisdom, sacred groves, and vibrant tradition passed through generations. Among the royal offspring was Ajero, the 4th son of Oduduwa, destined not only to inherit a name, but to shape a destiny far beyond the city walls. He walked paths yet unknown, guided by the rhythms of the drum and the whispers of the gods.
The Ijero people came from Ile-Ife, especially as a descent of Olofin Oduduwa. We all know the significance of Ile-Ife in Yoruba history as the cradle of Yorubas. There is no way you will talk about the history of any Yoruba kingdoms without making mention of Ile-Ife and the legendary progenitor of the race, Olofin Oduduwa. Olofin Oduduwa was the first unified king of Ile-Ife. So a lot of questions have been generated about the numbers of children of Olofin Oduduwa. Some school of thought said Olofin Oduduwa had only 1 child as Okambi. Some school of thought said it is 7. Another school of thought said 16, and so on and so forth. But without any act of immodesty, Owa Ajero was the 4th direct son of Olofin Oduduwa from Ile-Ife, and his source was at Ita Ajero or Ita Ajero in Ile-Ife.
Around 1200 AD in Ile-Ife, Ajero brought forth the principle of Ajero, a shared council, and here the royal princes would meet to debate, vote, and agree on the matters of state.
Ita Ajero or Ita Ajero means a place of consultation. It means a place of meeting. It means a place of symbiotic relationship. So if you see Today, we are talking about democracy and good governance in the world. It emanates from a place called Ita Ajero in Ile-Ife. Even this is where our kingdom, Ijero, takes its root.
A stirring came from within. The gods called him to do more. As Ile-Ife grew crowded, and Ajero and the royal princes matured, a choice stood before them: to remain in the shadow of their father, or venture out and plant the seeds of new nations. For Ajero, this was no mere journey. It was a covenant, a divine prompting to lead his people, to carve out new destinies, and to establish a legacy of his own.
They have become mature as princes. They too needed to establish their own kingdom. And therefore it was there at Ita Ajero, in front of Ajero's house, that they had discussion, and they agreed that they should migrate from Ile-Ife to establish, each one to establish his kingdom. They got permission from the father. And when they approached the father, the father gave them go ahead, that they could can establish his own kingdom. And Ajero was a principal figure in this decision making. And why? Because the decision was taken in his own place.
The source of Ijero people at Ile-Ife, the source was Ita Ajero quarters. We all hear about the story of migrations of Yoruba people from Ile-Ife, whereby all the children of Olofin Oduduwa, both children and their grandchildren, decided to found their kingdoms in various parts of Yoruba land. It all began at the instance of Ajero, Kiosa, the fourth eldest direct son of Olofin Oduduwa. So at Ita Ajero, it was a place of consultation, or a place of meeting, or a place of decision, whereby Olofin Oduduwa consulted all his children to found their own kingdoms at the instance of Ajero Kiosa.
In times of uncertainty, the people turned to the Ifa oracle. The signs were clear, the journey was righteous, the gods were with them. Wise elders, steeped in tradition, echoed the call: go forth, for your path has been laid by the spirit of your ancestors, Oduduwa. Strengthened by prophecy and shared counsel, Ajero knew his destiny lay ahead. He led his people towards the lagoon. From the sacred cradle of Ile-Ife, Ajero and his people ventured towards the sea, first settling in the swamps of the present-day Butemeta in Lagos. Here, they endured the trials of swamp and surf. Legend said they first sought the sea's healing water for a mysterious ailment.
So when they were migrating, they first migrated towards the sea. He was the only prince among about 7 or more princes who migrated towards the sea. Others migrated towards the mainland. I don't know why he had to take a decision like that. He migrated towards the sea and established by the seaside. And that's the reason why when you want to talk about Ajero, you will say Ajero Kiosa, that is, Ajero settled by the lagoon, and it seemed like a moon in the heaven. So it's settled by the lagoon. It's settled around the area which we call the Awori area now in Lagos. And I don't know how long they kept in Awori area, but eventually he decided to move into the interior like the other people. I didn't know what caused that decision, but eventually when they were moving, certain Ijero people still remain in Awori area till today.
From the lagoon, the pressed inland to Atoshe, the present-day Aromoko Ijero Forest Reserve, pausing but not resting.
In Aromoko Ijero Forest Reserve, they settled there. That was their first settlement in the interior. After settling there for some time, they had to leave the place. Why? Because the place they didn't find it convenient. The place was swampy. There was a lot of earthworm in the place, and they were not finding the place very comfortable. Eventually, they left the place. They went to another place called Ilede. Ilede is about 3 kilometers to Ijero. When they were at Ilede, the Arab Moko people began to trouble them there. They attacked them there. They gave them a lot of problem, a lot of discomfort. So eventually, they decided to leave the place.
Ajero didn't voyage all alone. Beside him, on that great migration, stood his favorite wife, Aboko Aye, often hailed as Ijero-Ekiti, the one who pioneers the journey. As they traveled from Ile-Ife, it was Aboko Aye, under the authority of Ajero, who first walked into Ijero, leading an advance team and hosting a grand festival of sacrifice to appease the gods.
It was one woman called Ijero-Ekiti who was their leader when they were at Ilede. And they asked one man called Odelua to look for another suitable place for them. And it was Odelua who introduced, who really found a place called Ilokmo, and they moved to Ilokmo.
Ibi tá a wà yìí náà ń pè ní Ijero-Ekiti. Ibẹ̀ jẹ́ ilẹ̀ òwúrọ̀ nílùú Ìjẹ̀rò. Ibi pàtàkì ni nílùú Ìjẹ̀rò. Nígbà tí ọwọ́ Ajero, ọmọ oṣù Kèrègbè lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ọ̀run tó ń bọ̀ láti Ifẹ̀, ó mú olórí tó ní ìgbà yẹn ẹyọ olórí kan ó mú dání. Òun náà pè ní Ijero-Ekiti. Wọ́n jíjọ wá sílùú Ìjẹ̀rò láti wá settle. Àgbàlá compound ibi tán wà ń gbà yẹn, òun náà ni a wà yìí. Ilé ibi tán kọ́kọ́ gbé mọ́ọ̀dù ẹ̀, òun náà mọ ilé yíká yẹn to preserve it. Kójò má pa, mo rò pé ń wo bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Ibi tán kọ́kọ́ gbé ń gbà yẹn nìyẹn. And it has been for centuries. Wọ́n jíjọ wà ń bí ìyá wa Ijero-Ekiti ọ̀hún. Statue ẹ̀ ló wà ń bẹ̀ yẹn. Ọmọ ọba Ìjámọ̀ ní Ọ̀yọ́ Aláàfin ni. Tẹ́ ẹ bá súnmọ́ dáadáa, ẹ rí Ìlà Ọ̀yọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kẹ́.
Aboko Aye remained at each new settlement, from Etiosa, Atoshe, Ilede, Ilukunwo, until Ijero became a home. She has instituted Ajero's legacy of leadership and peaceful coexistence, and her spirit guides the ritual that bears her name. She has earned the place of authority in the palace, and her legacy endures as a cornerstone of Ijero's cultural heritage.
Ọba ìgbà yẹn, the first Ajero ìgbà yẹn, tán débí ló wá sọ fọ́kọ ẹ̀ pé wọ́n máa gbúdọ̀ máa jẹ oyè. Ìyá yẹn ló kọ́kọ́ institute chieftaincy, àwọn oyè gbogbo tán ń jẹ tó ń fún wọn lórúkọ. Ìdí ẹ̀ nìyẹn tó jẹ́ pé ẹni olóyè tó bá jẹ níjẹ̀rò, tán bá ti fún ní eruku sórí, ìyẹn yẹ̀pẹ̀ eruku oyè, tí wọ́n bá ti fún ní lájere, the second place tó máa wá òun ni bí láti lè fi ọ̀nà ìyá yẹn, torí pé òun ló institute chieftaincy yẹn, pé kán jíjọ kan ní ìjòyè tó máa ṣiṣẹ́ pọ̀ pẹ̀lú ọkọ wọn, pẹ̀lú ọkọ ẹ̀. Nígbà tán dẹ̀ ń bá ìrìn àjò yẹn lọ, ó náà nìkan ò lè dúró, ó tún wá àwọn olórí míì mọ́ra.
The official wife of Ajero is called Aboko Aye among the royal wives or consorts. Aboko Aye is also known as Oyadimula, so that is wife of the king. So the Aboko Aye, apart from being the royal consort, always plays a significant role among the women in the Ijero kingdom.
Deep in Ijero's oral history lies the legacies of Ijero-Ekiti. His bloodline carried through at least 4 generations of Ajeros. From him sprang Ajero Awaride, whose own son, Ijero-Ekiti would reshape the destiny of this land. Ijero-Ekiti's three children, Ogbe, Otutu, and Apa, each forged their own path, but it was his eldest son, Ijero-Ogbe, who would become the founding father of the Ijero we know today. With Ogbe's vision and courage, a kingdom emerged, one whose heartbeat still echoes through Ijero streets and spirits.
It was Ijero-Ogbe that founded the present site of Ijero. We have about 4 generations from Ijero Kiosa to Ijero-Ogbe. So it takes a lot of journey, a number of years, even let me just say centuries before the kingdom was founded at Ijero-Ekiti, the present site.
Before Ijero became a thriving kingdom, its plains were farmstead of Ogbe, alongside the aboriginal settlers of Okelapa, Eyibo, Okelogbo, and Ale-Ekiti quarters. Among them was Olorogun, a blacksmith forging hoes and cutlasses, Obalogbon and Salotun, leaders of their clans. Drawn by fertile soil, they ventured to this virgin land.
If you look at Ijero intelligence report of 1933, recorded by T.B. Bovey-Jones, is in the National Archive and other historical records. He said that the royal ruling horses of Ijero started with Ijero-Ogbe and his younger brother, that is Otutu. The line of Otutu is the line of the present Aroyojoye royal ruling house that started with Ijero Atakumosa. So we can now say that Ijero-Ogbe, the founder of Ijero, was a son of Ijero-Ekiti, the son of Ijero-Warede. So the story of Iloko, it was Ijero-Ogbe that led the Ijero people from Iloko after they migrated from Ilede to Iloko, and they met some aborigines at the present site of Ijero. Among them are Alapa, who was a priest at Odoeshed, quarters of Ijero. We also have Olorogun at Eyigo. We also have other aborigines like Oloku of Oku and people at Okeada. All these aborigines too, they have their lineage in Ilefe. Peradventure, some of these aborigines were descendants of Obatala, as we read it in various Yoruba history books from Professor Akinjogbe, Professor Adiagba Akinjogbe, and others. When Ijero-Ogbe left Iloko, which happened to be a mother tongue to the present Ijero people, so he left a lieutenant who became Esa Loko. When we say Esa in typical Ekiti dialect, it means assistant. So we have Esa Akin, Esikin, Esa Oba, that is somebody that is assisting Oba, Esa Oba. Esa Loko was not the original ruler of Iloko. So when Ijero ascended to the throne, he is the same as Oniloko and at the same time the Ijero of Ijero.
The Ifal oracle, using palm kernel divination, declared this farmstead the destined seat of a new kingdom. Embracing the spirit of Ajero, the shared council, Ogbe convened these people at Ilokun to cast their votes. United in vision, they christened the settlement Ijero, honoring their Ita Ajero heritage from Ile-Ife.
When Ogbe, who is now the prince and the king, got to Ijero, there were certain settlers on the land. He had to talk to them, negotiate, and so on. So let's come together. Let's form a large settlement. The kind of discussion he had with all the settlements that have been at Ijero or near Ijero is what we call Ajoro. That is having normal discussion so that you can have a good settlement. So Ijero now took off. and started to expand. Eventually, it became a very beautiful town.
With pragmatic leadership and a culture of collective decision-making, Ogbe laid the foundation of democracy and service here. He appointed his lieutenant, Esa Lukunwo, to govern Ilukunwo after his brother Apa had died, while others joined him at the new site. Ajero Ogbe became the first king of the Ijero kingdom and declared the land fit for greatness. Here on fertile fields, they would finally build a home, a doorway to the kingdom's enduring legacy. Ijero's hard-won peaceful settlement would not go untested. As regional rivalries erupted, the Kiriji War, the longest internal conflict in modern Yoruba history, engulfed the land from 1877 to 1893. On one side stood Ibadan's imperial forces, on the other, the Eastern Yoruba Confederation of Ekiti, Ijesha, and the Jebu people.
Kirigi War. There was a period of time when the Yoruba people were fighting themselves. I said they agreed at Ilefe that each kingdom must not fight itself, and no kingdom must have quarrel with the other. They had that agreement at Ilefe, but at one period the agreement broke down. And why did it break down? It broke down when people who are no princes, who are not descendants of princes, became leader in Yoruba land. The Alaafin was a son of Oduduwa. When he was ruling, I was powerful. There was no problem. But when power left him and power went to Ibadan, people who were not princes, the Oluyoles and so on and so forth, people who were not princes, started to fight other Yorubas. And this led, in fact, they decided to conquer other Yorubas and put Yorubas under themselves. And this led to what? There was a lot of problems. There was a lot of headache, which we call the Kirigi War.
Guided by Ajero's ancient principle of Ajoro, unity through dialogue and peaceful coexistence, Ijero rose to defend the Ekiti kingdoms. Oba Olamiloye Oyeyosoye, the Ajero of Ijero, from 1866 to 1901, traded his throne for the battlefield, forging a palace army that stood firm against Ibadan's advances.
In some part of Yoruba land, it was called Kiriji War because of the onomatopoeic sound of the gun that was used at that war. The Kiriji War was a war between the Ibadans, the inheritor of the Oyo imperialism, whereas to the Ekiti Parapos. When we are saying about the Ekiti Parapos, we are not talking about the Ekiti people only. This is a conglomeration of the Geshas, the Ekitis, the Igominas, the Akokos. These sub-ethnic Yoruba groups of the northeastern Yoruba land who fought the war of liberation of that period of history. So they fought against the Ibadans, who are the inheritors of the collapsed Oyo Empire.
With fellow Obas, the Ore-Adifagbade of Otun and the Olojudo Iyowo of Ijero-Ekiti, Ajero established a wartime base at Timesi-Ipole, the town nearest the front lines. Here, he coordinated strategy, rallied Ekiti troops, and earned his place among the war's eminent leaders.
Ijero-Oyeyosoye was a spokesman among the Ekiti Obas at that time. So when the war started, Ijero people galvanized themselves at the instance of Ajero-Oyeyosoye at a place called Ale-Ekiti around Ojukebo today. So we give kudos to Ajero-Oyeyosoye for his pivotal role at Kiriji War, because this was a soldier king who left his palace, who left his comfort zone for war, even with his lieutenants. Among them were Obanla Alomoja, Esaba, àtìrìtìrì ẹ̀mí mọ́. My own great-great-grandfather, Olomese Adekujale, and other chiefs followed Ajero to the war. The Ijero at that time was led for Ejemu Anaparonshegbe, who was the one coordinating affairs of Ijero metropolis when all these kings and warlords left for war. So Ijero had proud generals like Akata, great General Olomofe Otiriki-Judah, who turned the war to a pure entertainment at that period of time. We also have various warlords like Bejide Afomondi, Otunrangun Alanka. At least from Ijero metropolis, we have hundreds of war boys like Erinle Osho-Alufa, my own great-grandfather, the son of Olomese Adekujale. We have Adegunwa Otoki from Opeleke quarters. They are siblings. They were siblings. So we have Apasho from Okelogbe quarters. We have Seriki Jojola from Okeagba. Even within Ijero Kingdom, a lot of thousands of Ikoro youths and their warlords. Great warlords like Emilaro from Ijero-Ekiti, Odu Obembelogun from Ipoti-Ekiti. All these warriors follow Ijero to the Kiriji camp at Imesi Ipole, which is now Imesile in the present Osun state of Nigeria. But the historic role of Ijero cannot be overemphasized during that war. Though we were not there then, but what history recorded is irreversible. And history is very kind to Ijero. He didn't die at the war. He was among the principal signatories of Yoruba Peace Treaty of September 23, 1886, at the instance of the British colonial governor of Lagos, Sir Alfred Moloney. So, if you look at the various people that signed the Yoruba Peace Treaty, from Alaafin Adeyemi I of Oyo to Baale Osuntoki of Ibadan to Ooniderin Ologbenla of Ife to Ore Okinbaloye of Otun, Ajero of Ijero, Olojudo Olayisiade of Ido Faboro. A lot of these principal actors that put an end to the internecine war that lasted for 16 years.
In 1900, under British District Commissioner Major W.R. Riftoka, Ajero joined other Yoruba rulers at Okeumo for the Ekiti-Pelu convocation, a peace accord that reshaped the region's future. Years earlier, he had signed the 1886 Yoruba Treaty alongside two fellow kings, formally ending hostilities.
Ajero was among the pioneer of what we now call Pelu in Ekiti, which is the council of the kings, of the premier kings. You know, Ekiti is made up of 16 primordial kingdoms of confederacies. In the book of Samuel Johnson, he said, out of these 16 kingdoms, 4 are supreme. He made mention of Ore of Otun, Ajero of Ijero, Ewe of Ado, and Elekole of Ikole.
So ibi tá a wà ni wọ́n ń pè ní Alẹ̀ Èkìtì. Ibi báyìí jẹ́ ibi tí àwọn ajagun nígbà ayé ogun Kiriji War, ibi táwọn ajagun Èkìtì tí wọ́n ti parapọ̀ kó tó di pé wọ́n lọ sí ojú ogun gangan. So Ajero Ọlámilóyè Oyèyọ̀sóyè ó ní ọba tó wà lórí oyè ńgbà yẹn, tó dẹ̀ wà lára àwọn leaders, àwọn adarí ajagun tí wọ́n fi lọ sí ojú ogun Èkìtì Kiriji War ńgbà yẹn. So gbogbo agbègbè báyìí ni àwọn ajagun yẹn wà láyé ìgbà yẹn kó tó di pé wọ́n shift lọ sí ibi tí wọ́n ti jagun pẹ̀lú àwọn Ọ̀yọ́.
Celebrated posthumously at Ekiti Peace Day 2019, Ajero Oyeyosoye's legacy endures, a war monarch whose courage and statesmanship preserved Ijero's independence, who built bridges towards reconciliation, and who later embraced Christianity, spreading faith across his kingdom. His example of peaceful coexistence and principled leadership remains woven into Ijero's cultural fabric, a testament to a people who refuse subjugation and choose unity over division.
Princess of Ajero. Also the same way, Princess at Ile-Ife decided the other time that they wanted to establish their own kingdom. The Ajero princes also decided that they were mature enough to have their own kingdom. So the princes began now to establish. The first place to establish, the first town they established was the first prince went to Ikoro, established Ikoro. Another one went to Ilora, another town, and went to Ilora to establish. Eventually, by the time Ijero became a kingdom, there were 22 towns and villages under it. And that is why we said Ijero Kingdom.
When the smoke of Kiriji war cleared, Ijero Kingdom entered an era of destined prosperity and power. Its reward, not in gold or conquest, but in growth and authority.
Yes, like I said, the legacy my forefathers left from the first Ajero Ogbe is a great one. And we have a powerful kingdom. And you know, my kingdom here extends far beyond the Ijero local governments as presently constituted. My kingdom extends as far as Ileje-Meje. That's a whole local government on its own, and to parts of Ido, Osi local government, and part of Maba local government. So altogether we have 24 towns and villages in my kingdom, and by God's grace, the kingdom is still strong and powerful.
From its pre-colonial seed, Ijero's influence stretched over 22 towns and villages. Its trade routes flourishing, and its culture blossoming into a tapestry of shrines and rites that honored both ancestors and the sacred covenant with the gods.
Samuel Johnson made mention of 4 supreme kings or kingdoms among the 60 Ekiti kingdoms. He made mention of Ori of Otun, Ajero of Ijero, Ewi of Ado, and Elekole of Ikole. So we are talking about the premier kings. Samuel Johnson made mention of this kingdom by virtue of their size, not because they are superior to other kings in Ekiti land, because these kings are brothers. Samuel Johnson was talking about the size of this kingdom. You see, Ijero is made up of many towns and villages. Even at the zenith of Ijero Kingdom, Ijero reached a heptapolis called Ileje-Meje, apart from the present towns in the present Ijero local government and Idosi. There was a town called Iyapa, now Ijero-Ekiti. That was the extent of Ijero Kingdom.
As Kola Femi Alufa observes, Ijero is the land of colorful, fascinating festivals and the heart of Yoruba cultural practices, deeply rooted in tradition.
The festival, as we know it, bring people to a place. At the world level, we have Rio Carnival in Brazil. We have Edinburgh Festival French in Edinburgh, United Kingdom. And we have Osun Osogbo. We have Olojo Festival in Ile-Ife. We have Oke-Ibadan Festival, even in Ibadan. Obanta, we have Ojude-Oba Festival in Ijebu-Ode. So here in Ijero-Ekiti, we have our own colorful festival, which is first among equal, the Ogun Festival. I will say kudos to our ancestors that contrived this festival, at least that galvanize all Ijero sons and daughters, both at home and abroad, to come home during the period of August, the 8th month of the year. So this Ogun festival was also, as I said earlier, was also a period for merriment. It's a period for family reunion. It's a period for socialize with one another. So it's a period to thank God for a new year. We have other festivals in Ijero-Ekiti metropolis. We have Igoke, Olodoye. We have Uwaomi Obalufon. We have Amolu. We have Ipelo, Imushiso Desade, Isagun, Odun Oro, and so on and so forth. But among these festivals, the Ogun festival is the rallying point. Is the premier among among the festival we have in Ijero.
Here, time is measured not by clocks, but by sacred stones, each marking the reign of a past monarch, a ritual that endures despite the march of modernization. The Ajero Palace itself stands as an architectural marvel, its courtyard echoing the stories of Para Oduduwa, where Olofin Oduduwa is venerated outside Ile-Ife.
Nka ìṣèlú bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́dọọdún àìbọ̀mọlẹ̀ ìbéèrè náà ìpò ló para Oòduà Ajero nílẹ̀ Ajero la ṣẹ́yún Ajero la bọ́yún lọ́dọọdún là ìṣòro ibẹ̀ ọmọlẹ̀ ọ̀hún àbámi àbálọ́tẹ́ àtàdàrà ẹ̀yà ní ọbẹ̀ ẹ̀ka bí èsì títẹ̀ kẹta kẹ́yẹ ọbẹ̀ olùmọ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀ bá yọ mọ́lẹ̀ la ẹ̀ bọ̀ Oòduà ní Oòduà ló fẹ́ gbìdéró tó lé bọ̀ níbi pẹ̀lú Oòduà ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àti gbé mọ́ náà bọ̀ ẹ̀ ṣe wọ́ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ débi àdáyébá ni.
tá bá ti mọ́ lóye wọ́n bá ti mọ́ lóye kọ́ bá tọ́ bẹ́ àdàrà ọlọ́tẹ́ kábíyèsí yàákẹ́ ọbẹ̀ nínú ẹgbẹ́ ta ni aṣọ ní ọbẹ̀ yọ mẹ́ta ni bàbá dẹ̀ ti ṣe tutù fún ọtán ẹ lọ ilé kálukú ẹ lọ súlé dẹ.
so ojúbọ ó pọ̀ ń bí nígbà tí Christianity ò tíì dé ojúbọ ìṣù wà ń bẹ àwọn tó jẹ́ pé ìṣù náà believe in wọ́n á wá bọ ojúbọ wọn ìrégún omi wa níjẹ̀rò nìyẹn omi yẹn ó so unique ó pín ìjẹ̀rò sí ẹgbẹẹgba nídàjì ni so ojúbọ ẹ̀ náà wà ń bí àwọn tó jẹ́ pé omi náà believe in wọ́n á wá bọ ojúbọ ìrégún yẹn so gbogbo àwọn ojúbọ yẹn ó pọ̀ lóríṣiríṣi.
And of Osiri Gbongbo, the mythical warrior who helped defend the kingdom for over 8 centuries. The Isagun tree has served as the initiation site for princes and princesses entering royal life. Nearby, the shrine of Abokwaye Iyekwafin commemorates the female warrior who introduced the stone counting tradition. Her beaded statue, a testament to strength and leadership. And in the bustling of Erekeson and Igbamitoro markets, history comes alive each day. It stores a living archive of community. Ijero's spiritual landscape is equally diverse. Shrines to Ogun, Eshu, and ancestral rites dot the town.
Ibi tá a wà yìí ni à ń pè ní Ọwágún. Ó tún yàtọ̀ sí ibi tí a ti kúrò ní lọ́hùn yẹn. Bí báyìí gangan ni ojúbọ Ọbànìfọ̀n tó jẹ́ ìpara Ọbànìfọ̀n. So ibi tá a wà yìí ẹbọra 16 ló wà níbi tí a wà yìí. Yàtọ̀ sí Ọbànìfọ̀n tó jẹ́ olórí ìmọ̀lẹ̀ tá à ń sìn bí. Ògún wà ń bí, Ọ̀ṣun wà ń bí, Àgbá wà ń bí, Ọ̀yá wà ń bí. Ọ̀sán yìí wà ń bí. Ìmọ̀lẹ̀ 16 ló pé sí ibi tí a wà yìí. Ìlú Àgbáni òun ni wọ́n tò sílẹ̀ yìí. So ẹ̀kan lọ́dún náà la máa ń gbé jáde nígbà tá a bá ti ń ṣe ìwà omi Ọbànìfọ̀n. Ọgbà yẹn la máa ń gbé jáde. so ìlú àgbá nìyẹn òun náà ṣe máa ń kì wá ní ọmọ adágbà gẹ̀rẹ̀gẹ̀rẹ̀ ṣòro ọmọ adágbà kẹ̀yìn sáwẹ̀ mú àgbà ilérin sùn oréró bí ìbọn ní òye so ojópo ọba nìkan nìyẹn ẹni tí ó ń pọn omi ọba nìkan tó jẹ́ ajírèrò ọba nìkan ibi ojópo ẹ̀ nìyẹn so tó bá ti dìgbà tá a bá ti ń ṣe ìwà omi ìgbà yẹn ló máa ń jókòó síbi bẹ̀.
According to our tradition, àkòdì mẹ́rìndínlógún ló wà nínú ààfin bíi àdìchà àkòdì. That is 16 akodis, 16 shrines in fact, and each of them was named and dedicated to one deity or the other. And we have a shrine dedicated to Ogun. We have one dedicated to Eshu. We have another one dedicated to the Arumila Babalawos and things like that, etc. When I came, I came with a Christian background. I was born into Christianity, baptized, and then confirmed in the Anglican Communion. So when I came, I had to establish a chapel here. And that became the 17th shrine.
In 1991, Oba Joseph Adebayo Adewole added his own sanctuary, an emblem of the kingdom's religious harmony, where Christian, traditional, and Islamic practices coexist under one crown.
ọmọ Ijero ìmọ̀rántí ulé ogun kàíṣe níjẹ̀rò ìmọ̀rántí ulé òjẹ̀rò ìrántí ulé o.
And at the heart of it all lies the Ogun Festival. Once a year, Ijero streets ignite in the 1,000-year-old Ogun Festival. Myth, culture, and spiritual power weaving together in 7 days of ancestral reunion, celebration, and renewal.
Ijero is a land of colorful festival. That's what we call Ogun Festival at Ijero. Ogun Festival is a kind of festival that had no equal in any part of Yoruba land. It's a fantastic festival. It's a festival with wholesome arrangement. This festival lasts for about 7 days. Each day there's a lesson, activity or the other. Even the music. During this particular period, they call it the person music. The music is infatuating. The music attracts you like this. You listen to the music, you don't want to go away. The music itself is intoxicating. It gives you a sort of intoxication. Even if you are not even a dancer, when you listen to a person music, you will just see yourself moving and so forth because it is intoxicating. You can't get that type of music elsewhere. It's the Ogun Festival. It's unique. It's fascinating. It's also the planning. You look at the planning. How could people combine all these things each day with terrific activity? The second day, you go to another set of one. The third day, you go to another, and they lasted for 7 days like that.
The festival's opening rite is a royal dance. Young children, faces painted white and draped in beads, circle the sacred tree 7 times to the pulse of the Ekiti drum. Every August, Ijero sacred rhythms quicken the annual Ogun Festival. Before the grand masquerades, Igoke Olodoye unfolds in the Odoye River Valley, a renewal rite that cleanses the town of past ills and welcomes fresh blessings. These ceremonies interlace faith, history, and community into a tapestry that binds every Ijero citizen to their gods and to one another. Then, over 200 Osun, and Alagbamo masquerades, young and old, sweep through town in palm fronds regalia and carved wooden mask, dancing and chanting blessings. At their heart stands the fearsome Egungun Aje, husband of all masquerades. All the members of the Aje lineage may don a sacred costume and wield his Esison cane, a spiritual instrument said to heal the sick, grant fertility, and lift misfortune.
It affects the Ijero people wherever you are, whether you are in New York, whether you are in Canada, whether you are in America, whether you are in Canada, whether you are in Britain. When they say Ogun Festival is going on at Ijero, your mind, you feel like leaving the place to come and attend Ogun Festival because it has an attraction of its own. So it makes it unique. And its uniqueness is still there till today. In spite of modernity, it remains as it is.
In Ijero, the Ogun Festival unites the people in a single grand celebration. It is more than tradition. It is a homecoming and a royal convocation and a timeless renewal of Ijero's heritage. Yet, Ogun Festival is more than spectacle. It is Ijero's economic powerhouse. In the past decade, over 500,000 visitors, family, friends, and diaspora have flocked home with over 20,000 in attendance. According to the nation, this celebration has catalyzed cultural tourism so dramatically that the kingdom economy is projected to grow by over 400% within the next 5 to 10 years. From booming real estate and fully booked guest houses to street food vendors laboring in the night, artisanal workshops buzzing with commissions, and transport service surging, every sector hums with festival energy. Informal microloans and remittances flow, diversifying Ijero's prosperity far beyond its agricultural roots. Yet, there is much more than the Ogun Festival. The spirit of Ajero became the kingdom's compass, forging a society rooted in order, justice, shared destiny, and celebration of cultural heritage. Today, this vibrant town, known affectionately as Ajero, a Yoruba term for shared understanding, stands as one of Ekiti's cultural and political hubs. In today's Ijero, the people have rediscovered and reawakened to honor their past while forging a stronger and more prosperous future. The Ijero people are proud of their tradition. They are now celebrating the cultural heritage that shaped them. The seat of Ajero, the great monarch of Oduduwa descendant, the land of Ajero. Ijero is reawakened to celebrate Ita Ajero, a breath of new life into ancient traditions. How did Ita Ajero came to be? Long before colonial borders cut across Yoruba land, and before Ajero embarked on his exodus from Ile-Ife, or plainside before the palace of Prince Ajero at Ile-Ife, later known as Ita Ajero, served as an open forum for Oduduwa's children.
A form of democracy, because the question of every meeting all the time, the place became a form of a parliament. The place operated like when a parliamentary people come to meet all the time. They discuss you, they agree on you, and they make law, and so on and so forth.
Around 1200 AD, the fourth son, Ajero, brought forth the principle of Ajero, shared counsel, and here the royal princes met to debate, vote, and agree on matters of state.
Not many people, not many of the sons of Oduduwa that left Ile-Ife can trace their original site, but for Ajero it became easy because that Ita Ajero since then had remained popular and famous. So it was easy for us to trace. And part of the seats then were made of stones, some big rocks. We were able to trace part of them. And last year, I sat on one of them again. So that name Ita Ajero is from Ile-Ife. That is the abode of Ajero at Ile-Ife.
Ita Ajero then became the first Yoruba parliament, forging peace among emergent kingdoms and binding each realm by a solemn vow never to quarrel among themselves.
But recently, we have Ita Ajero Festival, which is colorful and a modern festival that galvanize all Ijero sons and daughters together. It's a festival that is not fetish. Nothing fetish attracted to it, and it's not a religious festival in honor of Ogun or Batala or any Yoruba gods or goddesses. But this is a modern festival planned in a very beautiful way. So we give it to the planner and the organizers of the festival.
Ita Ajero is more than a festival. It is woven into every fabric of the founding of the Ijero kingdom, a living testament to culture and counsel that gave birth to this kingdom. In celebrating the Ita Ajero Festival, Ijero not only remembers and pays homage to revolutionary Ajero, but also reaffirms the spirit of democracy and harmony that have defined the kingdom for over 800 years. At the Ita Ajero Festival, Ijero people wear their lineage like a crown, reenacting the democratic gatherings of their forefathers. In Ijero, tradition is not a relic, it is a rhythm in every chant, every drumbeat, every vow of peace. The Ijero people draw strength, identity, and vision for the future.
We decided to establish Ita Ajero Festival here, and we had the first one, the maiden one, last year, August. And by the grace of God, it has become an established festival in the Ijero Kingdom now. Every year, during August, we shall be having the Ita Ajero Festival in remembrance of our origin and source at Ile-Ife.
Last August 2024, the inaugural Ita Ajero Festival drew over 10,000 attendees, including Ijero citizens home and abroad. The Ekiti State Deputy Governor and members of the Ekiti State House of Assemblies, transforming Ijero into a beacon of cultural tourism and economic vitality. Ita Ajero's vision is clear: perennial gatherings where Ijero sons, daughters, and friends unite in celebration, dialogue, and shared prosperity.
The idea to begin to celebrate the Ita Ajero Festival, like I said, started last year. It started with ideas from my own people, and we decided to make it a festival for us to be gathering together. And it was such a joyful moment last year when Ijero sons and daughters from all over the world came. And we had a lot of music, we had a lot of dancing, and gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Ijero lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́, clubs and societies, gbogbo wọn ló mú aṣọ tó ń ṣàǹkó. So tí àǹfààní dẹ̀ wà fún wa láti jó, láti yọ̀, láti jẹ, láti mu, láti tún bára pàdé àwọn tí ò ríra fún bí 20 ọdún, wọ́n tún ríra wọn. And we have turned it to another occasion of raising funds for the development of the community.
Ita Ajero holds annually in August and remains the most significant ceremonial event, celebrating the Ijero's kingdom's rich traditions, connecting its sons, daughters, and friends in a grand cultural showcase. From the stirring Ajero reenactment, while festival goers savor traditional elegance and forge ties that ripple beyond the palace grounds, to the royal homage parade to Owa Ajero, Oba Joseph Adebayo Adewale Arojojoyetu at the Erekeson Square, to the Ita Ajero beauty pageantry. Each moment underscores cultural pride and economic opportunity. In August 2025, the second edition of Ita Ajero will elevate the celebration to a new height. A week of pageantry and purpose, beginning August 11 with the Ogun Festival and culminating on August 18.
Ita Ajero Cultural Festival celebrations. Ita Ajero can simply be defined as a socio-cultural sensitization and unification of all Ijero sons and daughters for the modernization of our cultural and traditional values to achieve effective communal development of our kingdom. Among the features expected at this year's event are Ijero traditional Apiri musical display, the king of music Saheed Osupa as the main musician. It means Ita Ajero beauty pageant, Ita Ajero Shugudu night, Ita Ajero cultural drama display, the Ita Ajero homage parade by all clubs and associations, and of course the Ita Ajero fundraising for 500 million multipurpose pavilion. Let's go and celebrate with our Kabiyesi. Let's go and contribute to the development of our community. Ijero agbe gbogbo wa o, àṣẹ.
This year's gathering promises a spectacular homecoming of Ijero citizens, both at home and across the globe. Among the honored guests will be Ekiti State Governor Biodun Abayomi Oyebanji, the revered Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi, traditional monarchs, and an assembly of local and international investors, patrons, and friends of the kingdom.
You know, in every bustling crowd like this, there's always something that reminds us of who we are, that reminds us of home. And for me, it's the significance of Ita Ajero. Ita Ajero is that thing that reminds me I need to go home. Ita Ajero is a call for everyone in the diaspora that this is the time for us to support Ijero, that this is the time for us to invest back in Ijero. Ita Ajero, I mean, going home is not just a memory, going home is not just a time to go and celebrate, but going home is a time for us to see how we can make Ijero a better place, how we can invest back in healthcare, how we can invest back in the education system, and how we can make Ijero a better place, how we can even invest in housing. So this is a great call for sons and daughters of Ijero to please be part of Ita Ajero in any way and every way you can. Ask questions. This is the time for you to be part of it. Please show support for Ita Ajero.
Ọdún Ita Ajero tá a ṣe kọjá, ó dùn láàrin. A dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run bó ṣe lè ràn wọ́rọ̀ sí. Àwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ wálé, a dẹ̀ fẹ́ kí tọdún ìkẹ́ tó dùn, kẹ́ dùn ju tèṣí lọ, kẹ́ tó lárinrin. Àbí wọ̀nyí bẹ́ẹ̀, kí èrò kan tú yáyá àti ìlú òyìnbó àtòkè òkun, gbogbo ọ̀nà kan asúlé kan bá aṣọ lórí a, ó dùn ó lárinrin.
Àmọ̀ràn mi fún àwọn ọmọ ìlú Ìjẹ̀rò nílé lóko lẹ́yìn odi ni wípé kán jẹ́ ká tú yáyá ká jáde síta káwa náà ká máa ṣe a lè ṣe ju àwọn ojúde ọba ti ìlú Ìjẹ̀bú Òde because àwa náà àwọn ọmọ Ìjẹ̀rò náà a wà káàkiri ní Amẹ́ríkà ní London ní Canada ní kí gbogbo wọn kán jáde síta kán máa bá wa gbé Ita Ajero lárugẹ.
Ita Ajero 2025 will stand as a testament to Ijero's enduring legacy and the unity of a people bound by history, culture, and vision.
Last year, when we had the first Ita Ajero, it was very grand. And I'm looking forward to it that this year will be even more grand and will be bigger and more interesting. And in 20 years, even before 20 years, very soon it will become a global event, and it will not just be a festival for Ijero sons and daughters alone. It will be attracting people from all over the world, and people will come to see it. Ijero sons and daughters, do not forget home, and come and do your part, come and play your part in assisting for the development and progress of our kingdom. Gbogbo bitẹ́dẹ̀ wà, Olúwa wà pẹ̀lú yín o. Ọlọ́run á dúró ti gbogbo yín o. Ẹ má gbàgbé ilé o. Darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, ká jọ ṣe kó dára. Lágbára Ọlọ́run àsìkò tèmi lórí ìtẹ́ asán gbogbo yín o. Ẹ̀dẹ̀ ṣoríire. Gbogbo tẹ́ bá wà lágbàáyé, ẹ ṣiṣẹ́ ẹ jèrè. Ẹ ṣòwò ẹ jèrè. Ẹ kéré oko délé o. Ẹ borí délé ẹni gbé ṣáájú. Bitẹ́dẹ̀ wà lọ́run náà a máa sọ yín o. Àsọyìn sówó àsọyìn sí àlàáfíà. A máa gbúrò yín láyọ̀. Ẹ̀yin náà a máa gbúrò wa láyọ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ló máa rí o. Àṣẹ Èdùmàrè.
As the drum fade and the last masquerade departs, the spirit of Ijero remains a living testament to courage, unity, and renewal. Here, beneath these ancient hills, every footstep echoes a story of shared counsel. Every heartbeat pulses with ancestral pride, and every sunrise promises new beginnings. May the legacy of Ajero guide our path, binding us in peace and purpose. This is Ijero Kingdom, where the past lives on, the present thrives, and the future is ours to shape.